Hello and welcome, heroes, to the Crit Academy. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Brandon.
And I'm your co-host, Ian.
This podcast was created to provide you, our heroes, with new and reusable material for both players and DMs.
We hope to inspire you with creative content that you can bring with you on your next adventure.
Our show might not be suitable for young children, but neither is our D&D games.
Thank you for joining us today here at Crit Academy Studios, where everything's made up and your roles don't matter.
That's right. Your role's like a D&D session that is missing a player.
Yeah, that happens a little too often, right, Brandon?
Blow it out your ass.
To be fair, in the past, that has been because of work.
So we got a really great show for you guys today. Moving on to our main topic, we have 100 ways to excuse a character's absence. I love this product. Alex Klippinger, who, if you remember, was in our previous episode we discussed is Go for the Eye supplement. This one here is just a fantastic product that is designed to give it's a lighthearted supplement for, a situation that every single table, Dungeon Master and player included, has to deal with. As adults especially, we get busy, we get a lot of things going on, especially if you have children, and oftentimes there's somebody who just can't make it. And part of the DM job is coming up with a couple different ways, right? You can just snap your fingers and say, okay, they're gone. You can just pretend they never existed, or you can come up with a valid reason of why they are missing. And
Just don't have their character there as a wind-up toy.
Yeah, I mean, that is some option. Sometimes they give the character over to another player, or the DM takes control. And there's a lot of risks that inherently come in that. What happens if the character dies or something like that? So
Yeah.
that's
Side note, don't kill a player's character when he's not there.
right. And so this
They
really
won't be happy.
This really lends to that. So this supplement is pretty interesting because not only is it divided by classes, but they give reasonings depending on where you're at. So they split it between in a city or urban setting or wilderness, and it gives reasons that fit that location or why they are missing. So there's 100 of these things. So we've picked, I think, about 10 that we're going to discuss as a group.
It just occurred to me that none of these are reasons involved. My wife is giving birth.
Hey, Alex, you should make it 101. My wife is giving birth should just be under the general section.
Or for that matter,
Sorry.
Or for that matter, we couldn't find a babysitter, so I had to stay home.
My son broke his arm. He's got gangrene. I gotta go.
So we've picked a few that we really, really like out of here. There is a link in the show notes to pick up your own copy. It's only a couple dollars. Definitely I think it's a couple dollars. I should probably go check. I don't remember. I bought it as part of a splurge. It's $1. It is only $1, so it's worth picking up. This is a powerful, powerful tool, and some of these things are hilarious. So let's get to it.
I buy that for $1. Needs me to run the camera.
Yeah, I would love to have a cameraman. Maybe we're gonna give Brandon a promotion. How would you like to be cameraman?
I think Taylor's talking about his porn days.
Oh, his porn days. Oh my God.
That'd be great. It's like, all right, Tate, you ready? Ready to go. All right, let me get the camera ready. Put the lens cap back on.
Oh, I'm sorry, buddy. I forgot to take the lens cap off.
Gotta do it all over again. Come on, honey. Let's get one more. You got some more in you, or do you need a break?
Oh my gosh. All right. Shit. All right.
All finished video for beards. He's not even jerking or anything like that. He's just fluffing his beard. Puts some whipped cream on it. It's like, where'd that beard? Licks off his own beard.
This just keeps getting worse.
In the porn industry, which part? The beard.
Sorry.
Wow.
Recovering from a cough. All right, so this is really great. So instead of having a hollow shell of their character dangle silently along behind the party like a spooky adventuring flesh puppet, or avoiding, mentioning them like they're, about to be snatched up by the thought police, try using some of these awesome ideas from the supplement. So one of the very first one that I thought was absolutely hilarious comes from the Cleric, and it's the Cleric in the city.
Oh, yeah.
Some punk kids trashed a local shrine, as they do sometimes. The Cleric is a little short on their temple service quota, and they've missed a few too many holy days while out adventuring. They're going to stay back and help with cleanup. Now, this is fantastic because you could easily turn this into a hook if you needed to.
Oh, yeah.
I could easily see this becoming like, okay, they're vandalizing this stuff. Is there some meaning behind it? Is there a cult that did it? Is there a group of bandits that did it? You know, so what makes these really interesting, besides being hilarious that the Cleric has to do community service, is that you can utilize these as a hook as well. What's another one, Brandon?
And I got both.
Well,
things
do you have a favorite one?
Do I have?
Yeah, you can pick your own. I'll go to Ian and come back to you. How's that?
I was looking at Rogue and Rangers.
Ian, what one is one you really liked?
Well, one I liked quite a bit was from the Bard, and it was like a devil kidnaps the Bard to a fiendish plane. When they return, they remember competing with some of the devils for their soul. They're pretty sure they won.
A little bit of suspense there, huh?
Yeah.
I think I won. I really like that. That's really funny. I would expect something more like a warlock for that, but that's hilarious because.
Well, the warlock does have some voices in their head once. But
Brandon, do you have a favorite?
Yeah. I got Rogue in a city. Number 2, the Rogue is saving a cat from a tree. When you see the wealthy noble waiting tearfully nearby, you're pretty sure you get what's going on. You're sure they'll catch up later.
After their pocketbook or their coin purse is a little fuller. I like this one because it's general and it's not specific to a particular class. An insurance company summons you to court to testify in an adventure-related damage claim. None of you are in legal trouble, but it's a necessary formality.
paperwork needs to be done.
The character in question draws the short straw and agrees to testify. So, once again, to me, this is really interesting because...
And at what point did the fireball get fired off by the wizard?
There could be some really cool role play that comes from it, especially if the player and the DM kind of work something out shortly after they come back. You know, you as the DM could, as Ian just pointed out, you could say, okay, the incident involved this thing you guys blew up. So when you come back, you wanna kind of touch on that a little bit. Here's some bullet points.
Hey man, I thought that treasure chest was a mimic.
I wasn't trying to break into it. I was trying to smash it because I thought it was a monster. What's really cool about these the one like this one, is you can use this multiple times because adventurers are always blowing shit up. Ian.
Yeah. All right. Another one I liked too was the Barbarian, and I kind of related to this one a little bit too much because I have played a Barbarian in the past who definitely had the alcoholic problem. And it was the Barbarian agreed to test something the brewer called fire ale. The sounds and smells coming from the bathroom indicate that the test was not a success.
And everyone right now is really glad he's got a concrete outhouse or granite outhouse.
Did he just yell fire in the hole from the latrine?
See, so what makes that one interesting is that it touches on something that doesn't get brought up often, is going to the bathroom as adventurers. You got an entire little segment explaining why the person's gone. I think that happened in Critical Role. I think Grog had to destroy a toilet or something. Or maybe they were hiding in it. Jeez, I don't remember. But it was pretty funny. So that's a really good one because that deals with bodily functions. So once again, you can twist and turn that a little bit to fit really any character in any situation if you need it multiple times.
Okay. Or a few weeks back when I had the flu. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, I think you made me sick.
I lost 6 pounds in 4 hours.
Jeez, dude, nasty. Brandon, do you have another one?
Yeah. I got a Ranger in the Wilds, and this one actually caught my attention too. The Ranger spies a rare plant. known for its medicinal properties. They'll have a healer's kit or refresh an existing one when they return, but it's going to take time to harvest the delicate plant properly. I like that because even though the player's gone, they come back and they have a healer's kit.
They've literally gained something.
Although one can make an argument it could be for medicinal use in air quotes.
Damn. I actually like that for a multitude of reasons, because it includes the fact that they gain an actual benefit when they return for being gone, which isn't something that happens very often. There's a mechanical benefit, but it also, once again, adds to something that fits the class. The ranger is the person who's going to go in and seek out these different materials that are for poisons or to help people. So once again, you could easily change that they might have found something for medicinal or for either drug use, right,
Yeah.
Ian, or maybe some sort of poison. So you could easily change out the healer's kit to like a poisoner's kit or something similar.
So, Ranger, what took you so long? I had to deal with a high dragon. Oh man, that's all stuff. No. It was a high dragon. He was growing weed.
The forest caught fire and filled it with weed smoke. Hey, I could go for some tacos.
Or like kind of like in that commercial for What We Do in the Shadows, that vampire show's coming out. You guys left when I found the humans that you left in the basement, they're all half drunk. Where'd they find the alcohol? No, they're half drunk, as in you only drank half their blood and left them there.
Oh, that's funny.
At least finish your human.
So one of the ones that I really liked is the Sorcerer in the City option. One of them says, a gang of elderly wizards beat up the sorcerer, shouting insults like "wild surge out of this," and "nice bloodlines, asshole." The local guard will need the sorcerer to stick around to identify the culprits while they round up every.
Octogenarian?
Is that what that is?
Yeah.
Octogenarian?
Yeah.
Does that mean suspect?
No, that means they're at least 80 years old.
Oh, while they round up every old-ass person in the town that could be an elderly wizard. First of all, I think it's hilarious because this shows something pretty interesting, right? That there's a little bit of tension, could be some tension between wizards and sorcerers, right? I mean, can you blame the old bastards? They have to spend all this time studying, and this little pond-sized brat can just show up and point his finger and fire shoots out of it.
That reminds me of that one chart breakdown of like how each spell casting class know how to cast magic. And the last one with the bard. I just insulted the guy and he died. It was weird.
That is weird. What's it? The wizard has to read a book.
Yep.
The sorcerer just has to come from a...
Is empowered by the blood of his ancestors.
Right.
Did you assault this sorcerer? That bitch ass half blood deserved it.
I don't care what kind of dragon's blood he's got in him. That's not funny. Ian, do you have another one?
The monk. And this one's in the wilds. The monk meets a master of a rival or different order. Rather than fight them, the monk expresses their deep respect for the master's skill and has to learn. The master, though understanding that they follow different paths, but is deeply moved, sits with the monk and begins sharing his wisdom. The monk of respect will not depart until the master has finished speaking.
So he just gets stuck there because the guy is talking. Like this looks like every trap with old people. I mean, look at Tate. It's a perfect example. You start talking to him and it never ends.
Oh my god.
As a guy, when I'm at church, this happens all the time. We had a group meeting today, and there was a lady. I love her to death. She's awesome, but she never knows when to stop talking. So we're there like an extra 20 minutes listening to her rant about something that's not relevant. And so I feel like that's kind of what's going on here, right?
Okay. For starters, the way at the path of the lotus is not a journey towards the door, but a walk towards the horizon.
Just goes on a continually rambling speech. I think this is cool. I think this is cool because once again, I think this is one that could And while these are specific to classes, you can change them, right? There's nothing that says that couldn't be like a wizard, talking to his apprentice about a specific spell and incantation or something like that, right? So,
Yep.
How many of these have we done so far?
So we've each done one. We've gone around
I think we all done
twice.
3 so far.
3 times, 2 times, 3 times.
Okay, let's do another full round, and that'll probably be good enough. That'll be about 10% of what's in the document. I don't want to go more than that.
Sure.
So. Hang on. Go ahead. Hurrah, hurrah.
Now, it's another ranger one in the wilds. I noticed that 3 of the 4 you actually gain something from it.
Well, that's cool.
And I'm going to choose the one where you don't gain anything.
Okay.
And let's see, it's Ranger in the Wilds, number 4. The Ranger spots evidence of one of their favored enemies. They break off to pursue these signs until they're satisfied their hated enemies aren't nearby.
Did someone say goblins?
They make a mistake. Damn it. He comes back all angry. I traced that trail for 3 days, and it was stinking kobolds. Oh, man. So that's a really cool one for that very reason, right? Because you can come up with a reason of why it wasn't, and you can add a lot of flair to it every time, which I think is awesome. Stinking kobolds. Why do I got to wear the same kind of boots? What do you guys think about that one?
It's like, yeah.
Definitely. And it does fit the class, too, because favorite enemy.
Right. And that once again, that's important, right? Because they tied a class feature into the excuse of why they're absent.
Yeah, what was it? Where have you been? Well, I've been trying to track down my favorite enemy. I found some footprints that looked exactly like kobold prints. I followed them to a nearby town. I found out that some schmuck kid made a new line of designer shoes that makes these prints into the dirt. And now they're everywhere.
Bloody bastards.
Or maybe in some cases, like, let's say your favorite enemy was like trolls, for example. And I remember there's one adventure in the past where we were journeying through like the countryside, and then we saw a troll walking up to a herd of sheep and picking one up. And we're all like, "We must protect the sheep!" get attacked, and someone of course shot the troll. Or we go, "Ow! Why you hurt Bill? You're stealing sheep. There's Bill's sheep."
They're all his sheep.
Oh,
You track him into a town,
sorry.
and you see the kobold, and you kill him, and everyone's all going, and like, what? What's wrong? I destroyed the monster. It's like, it's Kobold Con. You killed a cosplayer.
Oh no!
Okay. Or that was our local fur trader, you dick.
I like that. Is there any classes we haven't covered? I know we didn't do the warlock.
Druid wizard?
Do you have one that was of a class we haven't done yet?
No. Because the other two I picked was like what's my rogue and a sorcerer.
We haven't done rogue yet.
Yeah, we did.
Oh yeah, we
I
did
did
do one.
Cat in the tree. I guess
yeah.
I'll mention my honorable mention then, which was a generic one, which is actually still pretty hilarious.
Okay, which one's that?
Okay. I'm going to scroll back to the top. That's not the top. That's the exact opposite of the top.
Sorry, I just saw a wizard, and it's funny.
Okay. This one was my honorable mention, and it was an avatar of a god of death, or death itself, suddenly appears and drags the character in question screaming out of this plane of existence.
What the fuck?
Eventually, the avatar returns with the character in question, apologizing for the mix-up, and mutters something about smudged writing.
This is why I hate when they write in blood.
Stupid clerical error. This is the last time I let my infinite schedule.
It's a clerical error.
Oh my god.
Wait. That was Aaron with an A? Not an E? Crap!
And who the hell was that I just murdered?
Just imagine describing that to the rest of the party.
Oh, that's funny.
Look at the first one.
For this one?
Yeah,
that's what I'm gonna read.
Oh, the city?
That one's funny.
So the last one we're going to talk about is the wizard in the city. The wizard is left a drooling idiot by a spell experiment gone awry. He returns from the healing cleric sometime later, insisting he was transported to another world and married the ruler of a planar pygmies. Sure, friend. Sure you did. I really like this because the cool thing about wizards that doesn't get touched on is when you level up, it's because they spend their time every night experimenting and learning new spells. That's how you gain new spells. As part of your everyday rest, you're understood to constantly be experimenting. So something like this fits perfectly.
And the Druid would be like, what the heck did you experiment with for material components? And where can I get some?
And what you can really, and this is really cool because yeah, sure, you married a ruler of planar pygmies, but you can teleport anywhere and then make some BS flavor to it to easily fit whatever you want. Once again, allowing it to be something that could easily be reused if you needed.
But then 10 sessions later, when the wizard goes down, suddenly a portal appears in the air and pygmies rush out. We must protect our lord!
Pygmies run out! But they're not pygmies, they're cosplayers. So you massacre them all.
Yeah.
Look at number 2.
What's that? It's a small clerical error in your spell book. So we kind of gave you a small sample of the amazing collection of these that are in this book. It's 100 Ways to Excuse a Character is a powerful resource. And at $1, you can't complain for the price. It is so much content. By the way, the art in here is really nice as well. So overall, what are your guys' thoughts on this product?
I think it's definitely a good way to deal with something that does come up quite a bit, unfortunately, in many groups.
Yeah. And there's a lot of different ways to deal with missing people, and it's definitely something like as a DM I'm not super great at. I usually just hand wave them away most of the time. I spend far more effort when I'm bringing new players in than I am just like, oh, he's not here. You know, I know in one game I ran the the gun mage when you weren't here because I was still playtesting it. So I'm like, I can't lose a playtest session because you didn't show up. So
Yeah, it sucked.
but for any other uses, this is really cool. And they're on die rolls, so you can roll a die and determine these randomly every time you play, which is fantastic. They're very in-depth. And overall, it's just fantastic quality product. Alex did an absolutely great job. I definitely recommend picking it up. You can find a link to it in our show notes.
I think what would be fun is if he remade a new one, because I say this because I haven't seen any negative effects in any of the tables. So I think it'd be funny if it's like, if you put at the beginning of the next book says, what is the player's excuse for not coming? It's like, oh, I have to work. I was like, oh, okay, that makes sense. Let's give him a positive outcome. It's like, why aren't you coming to play? Because I'm getting some pussy. It's like, okay.
Negative outcome.
Oh,
So,
I see. All right.
I think-
You're missing half your shit when you come back.
Fucking thief stole it.
Actually, there's totally one with... Actually, half the bard ones seem to cover that.
Oh, did they? I don't think we covered any bard ones.
Yeah, well, one of the bard ones was...
Oh, yeah, we did.
He's reading... Don't worry, guys, I'm just receiving some medical treatment for that rash. No, that cleric didn't say Veterinarial.
Overall, it's a great product. Definitely pick it up. It's worth the payment. Yeah, you could call it 100 Punishing Ways to Excuse a Character. Back to our show notes. Wow, that was actually a pretty short... I mean, I suspected this would be a shorter episode.
That's okay.
Yeah. I'd rather have good quality and shorter than try to fill it with a bunch of shit. Excuse me. So that'll do it for our main topic today. 100 Ways to Excuse a Character's Absence by Alex Klippinger. Great job. I love this product. Please pick it up. You'll find a link in our show notes, and we'll get a small kickback if you do.
Did we determine if it was Klippinger or Klippinger?
I don't fucking know or care.
Eric cares.
So before we move on to our Unearthed Tips and Tricks segment, we have another gift to give away, compliments of our sponsor. Ian, who's our winner today?
Our winner today is R. Vindum.
Vindum.
Arvindum.
Arvindum. Congratulations, Arvindum. If you enjoy the adventure, please leave Loresmith a review and let him know what you thought of the product.
And for the record, that is just the letter R in the front.
R, matey. R, matey. So our character concept today. So we have, first of all, I want to thank Montague G. He submitted a plethora of content, so I plopped all of it into one episode. So you basically wrote my UTT this week, so thank you. Brandon, would you like to tell us about our character concept?
Character concept by Montague G.
Yeah, there's no title, I don't think.
Yeah. One of my players really loves dragons and was curious if there was a way to play one. I had been beating my head against a wall trying to come up with something before listening to your show, so I merely reflavored a race to match this. The Sealed Dragon is the Dragonborn race, traits with the appearance of any choice of humanoid. The Sealed Dragon was found by a band of adventurers when it was just a wormling after killing its mother.
Aw, like Bambi.
As in the adventurers killed the mom, and then they found the baby?
Mm-hmm.
That's what's
A band of adventurers, yeah.
Because I read it as the wormling killed its mother. Unable to bring themselves to kill the infant dragon, they brought it along with them until finding a powerful mage to steal away its true identity in the physical body of a humanoid. Unfortunately, some attributes still remain, i.e., claw-like nails, reptilian eyes, a smattering of scales on a specific part of the body, etc. The Sealed Dragon can be raised as a normal humanoid or possibly even told of their true nature at a certain age. The truth is revealed The truth is revealed...
He changed it, but it was
Sorry.
though. Yeah.
Thanks, Ian. The truth was revealed, though, when in a threatening situation, an eruption of flames, ice, poison, lightning, whichever, erupts from their mouth in defense. This particular player is a huge fan of Naruto, and was absolutely ecstatic after reading the race and making a comparison to the fox spirit inside of Naruto, while being completely unaware of the reskinning of the Dragonborn.
Okay.
What do you guys think about this?
That's sexy.
I mean, we are into reflavoring all the time. This definitely is a good example of that. So.
Oh yeah, the player didn't have a clue, and what I think is cool is the DM has said, okay, you can pick any humanoid race you want, and that's what you're going to look like. But you're going to have all the benefits of this other race. Now, he didn't tell him that he's a Dragonborn, but he basically let him pick whatever race. So this could be looking like a tiefling or a halfling or a Goliath, you know. And that right there is awesome, Montague. So kudos to you, and I'm glad you tossed the like into our show that we, you know, kind of help encourage that. Also, I'm a huge fan of Naruto, so I love the idea that this monster is sealed inside of this, and his energy is like seeping out, which is fantastic. And I love the little subtle flavor you give, like his scales showing on his body or his reptilian eyes and stuff like that. All those little details are really what help define a character.
When I read that, it made me think of like a Kung Fu Panda. Po, I'm not really your father. No crap, you're a goose. He's a panda.
I just found out that my dad is not actually my real father. Your dad, the goose. Yes. Uh-huh.
That's funny.
And then it's funny too. It's like, hey, you're 16 now today. It is your birthday, and I got a special gift for you. It's like, really? Yes. You are, in fact, a dragon. I wanted a fucking crossbow.
That's funny. Or maybe it's like one of those spoiled 16-year-old kids. You're actually a red dragon. Red? I wanted to be blue. Why did you make me blue? The goddamn pen is blue.
That's what I was thinking. God.
Hey, at least it's not a brass dragon.
What's wrong with brass?
Those guys are so freaking annoying.
Oh, I was just going to say he's got big, giant brass balls.
Write it. Write it, I'll break it off.
I love Liar Liar. I think that'll do it for our character concept, the Sealed Dragon. I should probably write that there so I can copy it later.
That's a good one.
Yeah, I really like that, Montague. Good job. Ian, would you like to tell us about our monster variant today?
We're gonna kill this monster variant, the Slag Worm.
Ooh.
The origin of this was the Grick Alpha, and they gain immunity to fire.
Ooh.
They get some changed.
You're changing the tentacles, what you're saying.
That's what I thought. I just double checking.
Yeah.
Yeah, change the tentacles to flaming tendrils, and half the damage is done as fire.
Ooh.
What's the difference between tendrils and tentacles?
Tendrils generally flail wildly, and tentacles usually are. What is the prehensile? What is the
Prehensile.
prehensile?
More dexterous.
Yes.
Oh.
Dexterous. And they also gain the heated body. A creature that touches the weird or...
Okay, sorry. That's the monster it came from. My bad. Hang on. Let me fix that.
Way to go.
I do that all the time. My bad, dude, okay?
I gotta give you some crap.
Yeah, I know.
A creature that touches the Slag Worm or hits it with a melee attack while within 5 feet of it takes 10 or 2d10 fire damage.
Ouch.
That's gonna sting.
I think the Grick Alpha is like a CR7 or something, so that's not that bad.
And it gains a legendary action, Flame Wave, which recharges on the 5 or a 6. Each creature within 30 feet of the worm must make a DC 14 Dex save, and they take a 48 flame damage on a failed save or half as much on a success.
Ooh. So what do you guys think about this?
I don't want to play the floor with lava against this thing.
The floor is lava. No, it fucking isn't, Mom. It's a carpet. Get your eyes checked.
So the flame wave is like a radius attack?
Yeah, it sends out centered on him and each creature in 30 feet of the worm. So it sends it out like in a wave of fire and hits everyone pretty much. It's almost guaranteed to hit if they're in range. You're basically saving to take half as much, maybe halfway ducking behind something, you know?
And then the rogue or the monk screws that up.
I say with the dex save, the way it's worded made me think it's like a disc of fire that shoots out from them.
Yeah,
so
it comes out.
If you do succeed on that dex save, you're ducking underneath it.
No, you're still taking damage, though, unless you've got special attributes like Ian over here is pointing out. This is a fun encounter, but I think what makes it, you can increase the damage quite a bit on the Flame Wave and put key parts like objects for the players to hide behind in the area. So like pillars or stone boulders or maybe houses, you know, some sort of objects so that you can increase the damage so it's far more devastating, but they can hide behind stuff, right? Or get out of range of it and force this to be like a core mechanic, right? That comes around, you know, at the end of somebody's turn. But because it's a legendary action, you can wait until the players all like get close to you before you unleash it the first time. Right, and then you know your Slag Worm is surrounded by melee players, rogues, fighters, barbarians. Then all of a sudden, it just rips this nasty flaming fart and sending out this wave of fire and just wrecking their faces. And I love stuff like that. The fact that you're punished just striking it is pretty awesome. I kind of envision this thing being a giant like purple worm kind of thing, but it's got like. It's made of like rock and it's got magma flowing through it and stuff. I think that sounds awesome.
Liquid hot magma.
And this would really go great with a really cool bitchin' lair action, like random spurts of magma or something like that.
You know what I think would make a fun boss version of this?
What's that?
Like an alpha Slag Worm, where you can give it a burrow ability, and wherever it burrows to, it turns the terrain that it's passing through into lava. And turns it into a difficult terrain.
Well, we could go after that, but
you could use this and just give it the burrow feature, because I think that's dope as hell. Or maybe they're fighting on the side of a volcano, and every time it pops up out of it, magma spews out of it. So the longer the battle rages, the more hazards are on the field. Damn, that sounds awesome. That'll do it for our monster variant, the Slag Worm.
The lava graboid.
The Slag Worm.
A10.
Oh, God. I got to that part I was editing this week, and I was cracking up, man. So there's a lot in this magic item.
Sorry.
Are you done? Motherfucker, dude.
I think so.
I'm glad it's over here.
Woo! Ugh.
Fucking stank ass,
Smells like
dude.
rotten Taco Bell.
Oh, I used to love Taco Bell.
Like, go to a Taco Bell, jump in the dumpster. That's my ass right now.
Okay, so I normally you take the magic item. Is that going to be too much for you?
Huh? Jesus Christ.
It's a sentient item. I'll take the encounter. It's fine.
I can take the magic item if you want. It's fine.
Okay. I don't have. There's not a name. I didn't give a title to this one yet either. We'll have to add one at the end. Our encounter of the podcast also comes from Montague G. A hermit druid in the woods fears there is corruption spreading from deep within the woods. In return, the druid will offer the players a particularly rare magic item or an object that is desperately required for story purposes. Haha, I love MacGuffins. Unbeknownst to the players, that is not the actual trial. The true trial is encountered when, while in the woods, the party becomes alert to the sound of hoofbeats. Oh, you beat me to it. I love it.
Coconuts.
What initially appears to be 50 or so cavalry units, 50 or so cavalry units is actually 2 rows of centaurs approaching from one side. From the other side approaches about 50 or so weemies.
What the heck is a Wemmick?
A wimmick? Is a wimmick? 50 or so wimmicks. Somebody Google that.
I am like, oh, the upper half is a human, but the lower half is a lion.
Well, there you go.
Race war.
Both races have been incapable of acquiring enough sustenance to feed their tribe. After a moment, the chieftain of each tribe rides forth to the party, begging their assistance in defeating the other in combat, so at least one group may survive as opposed to both dying out. Oh, shit.
Can I just kill half of each group and get on with it?
Yeah, why don't you just snap your fingers? That's how you solve the problem. If the party does agree to help one side, it is quite obvious they would be able to overpower the opposite side of the fight. In desperation, the two of them begin offering increasingly more valuable objects, starting out with the golden statuettes of deities and heroes, then priceless gems, bags of gold, items of varying rarity, up to artifact if the DM so wishes. In reality, this is the true test. The druid is testing not only the player's ability to resist pointless bloodshed in the name of greed, but also understanding the natural order of things. All the party has to do is refuse whatever is offered to them and walk away. If the party goes the extra mile of brokering peace, all the better. Regardless of their choice, after they fight, leave, and bring peace, the druid appears before the party, congratulating or reprimanding them, depending on the decision they've made. If the party fails, the druid sends them on their way, unwilling to hear out the party any further. If they walk away, they are congratulated for not being overcome with greed and allowing the natural order of life to run its course. If they manage to bring peace to the tribes, the druid can go as far as to offering a little more, albeit information, object, or whatever is needed, etc.
Or you guys could each of your groups take half your warriors from a band of mercenaries and get more resources that way and bring it back to the tribe.
Form a band of mercenaries?
Yeah. And get paid.
You know what? If you delivered like information to places like schedules and places like merchants that are traveling and stuff, be like, yeah, here you go, just rob these guys. They got plenty of shit. Problem solved. To walk away. I got fat loots. They made out okay. Life is good. What do you think, Brandon?
I believe that all D&D players, by heart, are greedy as fuck.
Yes.
So I don't think there's any scenario, unless they're listening to this podcast, where they are going to say, no, we are not going to accept your bags of gold.
Right?
You guys know I'm a big fan of moral ambiguity, and this really tests it, because really neither of these groups are necessarily inherently evil. They're just trying to survive. So you know what? I disagree with you, Brandon. I actually think that players could possibly come up with a very unique situation. honestly, as a player, I would consider, why don't you just give us all that stuff you are going to give us? We'll go and we'll buy you some food or something.
Right?
You've got all this value. You just need to find a place to exchange it for whatever you need, right? Maybe you hire people to constantly come and stop by here to deliver food to you from other places.
It's like, so you two, you're running out of food. It's not enough for both of you. But you have all these gold statues and bags of gold. Is there not a town nearby?
At the very least, I'm sure there's a few, after the fight starts, a few people will deliver meal, You could do like 10 of them volunteer and do like a Hunger Games thing, right? And then whoever doesn't make it just becomes temporary, meals. Right? I don't know.
That's like cannibalism, dude.
Well, you know what? It depends on what half they eat, right? If the human half eats the animal half, is it really cannibalism? Because really, how are they going to know the difference, right?
Fucked up.
Yeah, I know. But anyway, so I feel like I do think players could really come up with a lot of different ways to overcome this challenge. I think it's a fantastic challenge. I really would like to see what would happen with the Druid and his reasonings behind it. But I guess that's for another way. We need a name for this, you guys.
Chicago. That's what my movie thing up.
The Druid something.
The test of the jungle.
That's not bad. The natural order of things.
Natural selection.
That's different, I think. Natural selection it is. Natural selection. I'm going to put natural order of things. Natural order. How's that? That'll do it for our encounter of the podcast. Natural order. Brandon, would you like to tell us about our magic item?
Oh, my God.
The Cardinal.
The Cardinal. This week's magic item is the Cardinal. It is armor, and it is a shield. It is very rare and requires attunement by a creature of good alignment. Found hidden away in an ancient menagerie.
Menagerie, dude. Seriously.
Shut up.
Do you not play video games?
No. I play Rocket League. Is there a menagerie in Rocket League?
There could be. Is a menagerie anything like a menage a trois?
No. A menagerie is a zoo.
You're going to ask Satine.
Found hidden away in an ancient menagerie. Its ivory shape appears to have some sort of black gem-like hole lined with razor sharp upon it. That made no sense.
What?
Its ivory shape appears to have some sort of black gem-like hole lined with razor sharp upon it.
Edges.
With razor... yeah, that's what I'm thinking. Edges.
There you go. I fixed it.
It still don't make sense.
It says its ivory shape appears to have some sort of black gem-like hole in the center,
Lined with razor sharp upon
teeth.
it.
Razor sharp edge. Teeth. But teeth, not edges. Teeth. You're right. That didn't make sense.
God.
Try again.
Found hidden away in an ancient menagerie. Its ivory shape appears to have some sort of black gem-like hole in the center, lined with razor-sharp teeth upon it. While holding the shield, you have a +2 bonus to AC, in addition to the shield's normal bonus.
That's huge.
Is this...
That's the feature.
A feature? The shield's feature is called Devour Corpse. You may spend a short rest to allow the shield to devour an evil creature, large or smaller, unless it is a construct. A creature who has been devoured can be restored to life only by a wish spell. When it devours a creature, the Cardinal Shield grants you access to a unique action of that creature. This new feature can be used 3 times a day as an action. Sentience. Cardinal is a sentient neutral good shield with an intelligence of 14, a wisdom of 10, and a charisma of 16. It is a beautiful shield. The Cardinal can hear out to 30 feet away. While attuned to it, Cardinal understands every language you know. Its personality is the Cardinal communicates by transmitting emotion to the creature attuned to it. While it cannot speak, it sends emotional touches to the user's mind. encouraging them to conquer evil and allow it to devour monsters of darkness. It doesn't care what its monsters it what? It doesn't care what monsters it devours as long as it doesn't have a pure heart, which is a good alignment. Cardinal shape changes once it's devoured a monster. It takes on a protect form based on what?
It takes on a new form.
Yeah, I need to fix that.
Yes. New. It takes on a new form based on primary features of that which it devoured. Cardinal turns into a shape similar to the beast's head. When the new abilities are used, a spectral form of the creature emerges to execute the action. Monster stats are always used for the effect. DM chooses the action. Feature gained from the stat block.
That's where we'll stop right there. So the idea behind this, first of all, it's a sentient creature who's out to devour creatures of darkness.
Evil!
And when it does, the shield itself changes and gains you access to a random feature or a feature determined by the DM in action that creature had. Now, this includes basic features like bites or attacks, right? So if it's a bite, let's say you devour a, I don't know, I need a creature, a demon, right? You devour a small demon that has like a bite or a claw attack. The shield then shapeshifts and changes to kind of take on that form a little bit, but when you channel the power, a spectral form leaps out of the shield and executes it. Imagine if a form of the demon jumps out and, rakes massive claws across to cut somebody, or a dragon's head emerges and breathes fire, or something similar to that. What do you guys think about that?
That's sexy.
It's very nice. Made me think of the Blue Mage, actually, from Final Fantasy.
Yeah, that was kind of one of the things that...
Or the main character in that one time I get reincarnated as a slime.
I haven't seen that, but this actually came to me from the Rising of a Shield Hero.
Right.
In that the guy's got a shield that he feeds, stuff to, and he unlocks new features.
Yep.
And I thought that would make great for a special sentient shield, something that can be an offensive capability or utility capabilities.
I like that it sends its emotion to its attuned user. Mm-hmm. Because I think that can make for awesome roleplay. It's like everyone just got done from coming from the pub, and they're on their way for an adventure, and the paladin or whatever wrenches down and goes, "Oh, God, my stomach." I'm like, what? Are you hungry? We just ate. It's like, no, my shield's hungry. We need to find evil now.
What's really cool is that once you defeat a monster, you can choose and change the abilities. So you could fight the same monster and potentially get different abilities if it's determined to be random by the DM's choice, or if the DM just outright picks the best one. I would leave it random personally. But
Keller Gorgon gets a Stone Gaze ability.
yeah, right there. Right, eating a Gorgon gets a Stone Gaze ability. So,
If a squirrel attacks you, would you consider it evil?
Well, and that was the next thing I wanted to talk on. It was originally designed for evil, but you could probably make this any sort of creature that's not good, right? So anything unaligned or farther down the alignment. But
Because I would love to shoot an angry squirrel at someone.
a fucking shield, a little spectral shield pops out and throws a spectral nut at you. How about you like some nut in your face? That's funny.
Or consume the porcupine.
Yes,
just shoots
does
the
1,000 needles like fucking Cactor. That'd be dope.
Or they take damage when they hit you because of the needles.
Ooh, that's good. I like that. It's it just like pops up as they attack you. That's cool. All right, that'll do it for our magic item, the Cardinal Shield.
Oh my gosh! What creature did that consume last? It was a skunk.
That's funny. Ian, would you like to tell us about our Dungeon Master tip?
Our Dungeon Master tip, once again, comes from Montague. Invisible modifiers and shifting DCs. Don't be afraid to use invisible modifiers to players' rolls on occasion. There are moments where the dice just not do what the players want them to do, even though they should be able to do it, but by all means. Failure and chance are two very real aspects of the game, but every now and then, and if a success would have made for an incredibly interesting situation, don't be afraid to fudge the die roll in their favor a little bit by adding a small modifier. And this can also help balance out a situation in the game. such as if you're using like a module, for example, but none of the characters' archetypes quite fit the situation
Right,
sometimes.
right.
And perhaps a check that they would be able to pass based off their character, but due to game mechanics is unlikely. Kind of give them a small nudge in a certain direction, and this also could be used in a way. Another way you could just like just lowering like the DC just behind the scenes. What?
I added that so I would remember to say it, and you stole my thunder. Yeah, I actually think this is a great tip, and honestly, one of the big complaints people have is the proficiency system and the lack of skills, right? So if you really wanted to increase the success of people who are proficient versus people who are not, you could easily give like a secret negative modifier if you chose to do that. Personally, I just change DCs. I do it all the time on the fly. If somebody's proficient, I will usually lower it by like 2 points or from what I target is, or I will increase it from 2 points for the target if it's somebody that's not, depending on the mood that I'm feeling in. Because sometimes there are situations where players might know something, but then somebody says, "Oh, I want to give a history check on this statue for this place I've never been." Well, the person that's not trained in history, if you've never been there, the odds that you've stumbled across information on that particular location is very unlikely. But if if somebody's trained in proficiency, I'm more likely to be like, well, I'm going to lower the DC a little bit.
It'd be like if Captain America needed to roll a DC check about World War II history, but somehow failed it, even though he lived it.
Right. So I totally can see the use of these and adjusting these on the fly. What do you think, B?
I think it's a very helpful tip. Because it makes me think of a scenario that I had in my head when you were talking. It's like, okay, so what'd you roll? I rolled a 21. You hit. I hate to metagame, but I know that a 21 misses. There's a pebble in his shoe. You hit.
There's a pebble in his shoe. Yeah, that happens, and you do have to be wary of this though, because some players are really good at tracking that. Like,
and let's face it, you still want to have challenge in the game too, because let's face it, basically having auto success on the entire time kind of ruins the fun.
Yeah, in some cases, and I think that's where just not adding a DC is even needed. Just you succeed.
Yep.
If there's no chance of failure. Now, once again, for me, I generally just change the DC, and that is very specific, very particular circumstances. It's not something I do all that often. That's not true. I do it often enough, probably at least once in every session that I run. But usually I have a good reasoning to myself of why I would do that. But that's just my thoughts. So
roll a history check to find a secret passage. Oh, you fail. But I know where the secret passage is. No, you don't. I built the fortress.
Yeah, I live here, fucker. All right, that'll do it for our Dungeon Master tip. Shifting DCs and invisible modifiers. Invisible modifiers and shifting DCs.
You know, I'm actually kind of disappointed that Taylor didn't respond to my comment.
I can't even read that shit. So.
He's like, this shit's like watching my reply. A bunch of jock philosophy students trying to justify their major.
Our player tip of the podcast is don't be a dick. And you can avoid dickitude by
don't take things personally.
Yeah. This tip also comes from Montague. Thank you, Montague, for writing my honor tips and tricks today. And you can avoid dickitude by don't take shit personally. I was scouring through our honor tips and tricks, and I had not done this yet. How did we not do this yet?
Right.
This is like D&D 101. So Montague says, quite a few of my players have at least had some experience with roleplay, whether it's text-based through MMOs like WoW or Final Fantasy XIV, or some other method. One of my players had zero experience in roleplaying, something I think a lot of people go through when it's their first when they first try their hand at it and have issues with separating character from out of character. This caused a lot of tension at the table when this character would do reckless and foolish things that endangered the party. When the party in turn kept trying to explain this to him in character, he felt like they were ganging up on him, the player, and turning on him as their friend. Regardless of the players and Regardless of the players and I explaining to him outside of the game that we have no problems with him as a person and still consider him a friend, it all woefully ended with him leaving the table on less than great terms. No amount of diplomacy helped. Thankfully, since his departure, he has come around and remains friends and realized he is unable to separate the two aspects of the game. I'm sure your friend is not the only person that can't do this. I have met many people at my table that can't separate when the players are disagreeing and having an issue where they get emotional by the responses of the way the players treat their character. And my answer to that is don't be a dick. If you don't do dickish shit, nobody will have a reason to treat your character like shit. Did I just say that out loud?
Yeah.
That's the easiest solution. Yes, don't take shit personally, but if you can't handle that, then don't play a character that nobody's going to like. Because if you can't separate the two, you should be playing a character that just agrees with everybody. Because otherwise you're going to get bitchy and angry and upset. Don't do that. Grow up. Be an adult. Now, if you're a kid and you're listening to this, first of all, you shouldn't be. You're a kid and our show is not suitable for young children. And secondly, if you can't separate character actions from players, then you probably should just play a character that isn't a douche. So, do you guys have anything to add to that?
Yeah, I've had an experience that was like this at one point.
Sorry.
No, it was actually between me and the wife.
Uh-oh,
Jesse.
shit.
No, we were.
No wonder she
we were
don't give
playing.
them BJs.
No, it was. We were in. I think it was a goblin cave. We were here. We had 2 tables set up. We had 2 DMs going on, and we took too long, and we were talking too loud, and the guard in the goblin cave heard us. He came to attack us.
Shot you in the ass.
And our objective was to save the prisoners who were in the next room.
Was I running that game?
I think so.
I think I remember
Yes.
this.
Yeah, of course you remember because you thought it was genius. And I ran in there to try and help the prisoners, and Jessie, my wife, went up, saw the prisoners, saw me, looked back and saw the big bad guy and said, fuck it, and she ran. She left.
She left you?
And of course I died. I got knocked prone, and I was at 0, and I got stabbed by a bunch of little guys, and they're like, you're dead. I had no chance for death saves. And at first I was like, did I make her mad? Did I do something wrong? Did I not do the dishes that night? And then I remembered that on her sheet, one of her ideals or something like that stated that she will only look out for herself. If
That is certainly a flaw.
Yeah, maybe it is a flaw, but if she sees that everyone's in danger and she can save herself, she will. So she was just playing the characters like, oh right, that makes sense.
But you didn't understand that, so you got kind of bent out of shape at first.
It's like, what the fuck are you doing? Why aren't you helping me? My character's dead. Thanks, hon. Like, she showed me the paper and went, oh right.
You know,
your character's a dick. That's right. I forgot
Ed
about
put it
that.
perfectly. It's a game.
yeah. You know, I remember on one of the D&D Facebook groups about how there's some guys complaining like, I hate it when people justify things as, but that's what my character would do.
I think we've had that talk.
I know, but let's face it, there are sometimes kind of what you just said, but that is what their character would do.
Right.
In fact, I remember like one of the examples that one of the people gave was apparently there was one time where his mage character, one of his character traits was he is like obsessed with books because he was a bookworm, and there was one point where they got into a fight in a library.
Sorry.
And there's one part where they got into a fight in a library, and which caught on fire. And although the players hated him at the time because his character, instead of engaging in combat, went, "I must save the books."
I like that.
Even though that fit that character.
Well, even I got a character that has a strange flaw, and it's Raslin, my wizard that's undead.
Yeah.
He looks undead. That's the reflavoring. And his flaw is he's terrified of spiders to the point to where he will burn down a building for no reason.
Well, his reason is killing the spiders.
Yeah, well, you get the idea.
I do.
Is that
Escalated beyond all reason.
Right. Yeah, that's my wife.
He would still
Like we'll
do
be sitting on the couch and there's a spider 20 feet away on the wall. She's like, ah, Justin, kill it, ah.
Or I remember for one of my characters, the flaw I gave him was he can't read, but he won't admit it.
It's like, he just makes it up. Yeah, the map says we go left. Are you sure? Yeah, absolutely, guys.
East? I thought you said West. Oh, SpongeBob.
All right, that'll do it for our player tip of the podcast. Don't be a dick. Don't be a... Go ahead.
I was told to follow the directions on this paper. You should check this out just so we're on the same page. Yeah.
See, I wouldn't. I'd just be like, yep, we go left. That'll do it for our player tip of the podcast.
Don't be a dick.
And you can avoid dickitude by not taking shit personally.
You can avoid dickitude by not getting butthurt.
Before we close out, we have another gift to give away, compliments of our sponsor. Brandon, who's our winner today?
Our winner is J. Tormond.
Congratulations, J. Tormond. You are this week's winner of Jeff Stevens' shit. The Madhouse of Tasha's Kiss.
Yeah.
I forgot what it was for a minute.
That might be Tormund.
Whatever. Tormund.
Tormund Giantsbane from Game of Thrones.
Anyways, congratulations. If you enjoy the adventure, please head on over and leave Jeff Stevens a review and tell him what you liked about his product.
Yay.
Please join us on our next episode where we hear feedback from you and answer your questions. Where we answer your questions and hear shit. Please join us on our next episode where we hear feedback from you, our heroes. We will discuss corruption rules from Matt Mercer. This is all about how to corrupt the lands and let it slowly and gradually influence the player's actions.
Oh,
It's dope. I cannot wait to go through it. So, Brandon, that's you right there. Take that.
yeah. Where? What?
Right there.
If you have any feedback on our tips and tricks or topics you would like us to discuss, please send them to us. You can email them to us at critacademy@gmail.com or find us on Twitter and Facebook at Crit Academy. And if you need some on-the-fly tips, you can catch us on TikTok, apparently.
Yes, I'm on TikTok at Crit Academy.
We apologize in advance.
It's so funny because that's what I was thinking.
We also now have a YouTube page. I think I might have said that before, but I'm actually starting to do some stuff with it. So make sure you go over there and follow us. Keep an eye out for some really dope shit. Get notified of some stuff coming out. So,
All right. We hope you enjoyed your experience here at Crit Academy. And if you did, you can help others find the show by leaving a hopefully 5-star review on your platform of choice. Or just send us a message telling us how much you enjoyed the show.
I love getting those emails. I get them so regularly. It beefs up our my ego quite a bit.
We still need to do that.
Like a mailbag episode or something.
Yeah.
Yeah. Actually, tomorrow I'm picking out a winner for those stuff for the iTunes review. So,
How many people have done that?
70, I think, total. I think we got 70 reviews between Canada and America.
Anything less than 4 stars?
Yes.
Fuck them.
Yeah. Well, I gotta be fair. So.
Just kidding, guys.
Also, make sure to give us a like and a share. If you would like to support the show, there are many ways to do it. The best way to do it is to become a patron. For as little as $1 a month, you can help support our show. Every dollar goes to help making our show better. You can purchase any one of our new products, our Gun Mage. You can toss us a few dollars there. Pick up our Unearthed Tips and Tricks book. Please do that. Or pick up our Brawler, Path of the Barbarian, that is recently released. I think you'd really like that as well. Brandon also does commissions. You can get full color art and shoulder art. You can find that on Facebook. There are price guides there. Also, check out our shop on our website at critacademy.com. You can buy a t-shirt, a pillow, a giant wall, whatever the hell this thing is hanging up behind us. What is that? Is that a wall scroll? Tapestry. You can really show love for us by getting like an 8-foot tapestry with our logo on it.
If you like our background, you can have it too.
Yeah.
It's the exact same thing.
So make sure to subscribe over to. Also, if you just want to spend toss us a few bucks, you can buy us a coffee. We have a coffee account. It's KOFI, I think.
Coffee fee?
You can just toss it like $1 or $2. Buy us a cup of coffee.
The fuck is that?
It's like a way to tip people.
Oh.
You can find it on our Twitch. We have a Twitch channel too. You can watch a bunch of our monthly streams.
We're fucking everywhere.
Yeah, we are.
We're like herpes.
Make sure to subscribe to our show at critacademy.com so we can help you on your future adventures, as well as be entered to win cool prizes each and every week. You also find links to our fellowship members there. If you have not checked out D&D Character Lab, Garen and Dan do an awesome job of building amazing characters and arguing whose baby is better. Gabe and Jeff at Inter-Party Conflict answer your questions. Those guys are doing an amazing job, and Gabe is very thought-provoking, so definitely check that stuff out. And, of course, Brute Force and Ignorance is the new actual play podcast that has been has joined the Crit Nation, so definitely check him out. There are many other content creators on the Crit Nation site, so definitely check it out. They all got amazing content. I am your host, Justin.
I'm your co-host, Brandon.
I'm your co-host, Ian. Thanks for listening.
Keep your blades sharp and spells prepared, heroes.
What a successful show.
You think so? Do you think so? Answer me. What episode is that? 119?
119.
119.
Swerve to me.
119.
Hey, thanks for joining us, Ed. We appreciate it.
Yep.
Everyone wave to Ed
Yep,
before we
yep.
say goodbye.
Goodbye now.
Hopefully we'll see
Said
you
they're
next
off already.
week. It is the Patron Pals thing. I hope you'll be alive and join us. See you later.
Yeah.